Hey everybody, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight, season 13. This is going to be the reunion, part 1 and part 2. I did split them, I just did them both at the same time. Because of the holiday, I just didn't want to do it. I said I just do both parts together. As always, it's your boy Big James, the Big Alright himself. The reunion was very revealing and very telling. And this review is going to be kind of not even a review, just me telling what I think and what I saw and what I heard. So it might not be that long, and it might be long as fuck. We'll see together. We're going to start out with the first couple. This couple had nothing going on. We're going to start out with Brett and Ryan. They broke up on decision day. They still split. They say the same bullshit, like, oh, this, that, and the other. But this time they was talking. And it was really on the experts. They should have never put them two together. Because he wasn't Brett's type and Brett wasn't Ryan's type. They had nothing in common. They had nothing going on. The biggest reveal was when Ryan's sister came out. And they asked her about, you kind of threw Ryan under the bus when you told Brett that you felt like he was distracted. And she was like, yeah, but, I've seen this before with him, and I want to just be honest and upfront and put it out there. But she said, if I'd have known what I knew then, what I know now then, I wouldn't have said anything. Because she found out that Brett was talking to somebody else. Like a month before this. At like the 1 month anniversary thing, Brett had exchanged numbers with another guy. And she was talking to them. So, like, Brett came off looking kind of hypocritical, talking shit about Ryan on a dating app. And here she is dating somebody else. You find out that neither one of them were staying in the house, really. They weren't talking. They weren't doing anything. Which made even the retreat thing seem even more egregious on Ryan's part. Why would we sleep in the same bed? And we're really not doing it at the house. So, but them two, it's pretty much obvious they weren't going to be together from like the beginning. From wedding day when he was just tripping off of her having red hair. And I don't know what the fuck happened on that flight to the honeymoon. But I think Ryan was done with her then. They didn't show what happened on the flight. Maybe nobody recorded it. But that plane trip to the honeymoon, if you remember when they flew to Florida, when Ryan got to Florida, he was like, fuck this. Shit. Whatever happened on that flight, it left an impression on him that he carried to this day. They said that we're going to be friends, we're still cool and all that. No, they're not. We saw on the Where Are They Now, I'm not doing a review of Where Are They Now. On the Where Are They Now, they don't even talk. They don't interact with each other at all. No, they're not friends. Outside of the show, they would have never been friends. So why you thought they would be in a relationship, that's one thing the experts should do. Would they even be friends in real life outside of the show? If they couldn't even be friends, why would you put them together as a couple? They clearly don't like it. They had no similar interests, no similar hobbies or habits, nothing. They were all in water. I don't know why the experts ever put them together. And I think Ryan said on a Reddit that they weren't mad. It could have been somebody pretending to be him, but I saw a thing online where Ryan said that he wasn't Brett's match. They matched Brett with someone else. I'll never find it again. I was just reading it, but he said that Brett was matched with somebody else. The producer told him this. It was on a podcast, a Watch It. Oh shit. A cast watch podcast, some shit they were doing in Houston, a watch party podcast. And Ryan said that him and Brett weren't matched. Brett was matched with somebody else. The guy Brett was matched with backed out, like at the last moment before they started filming. So they had to find someone else to match to Brett because Brett was still going with it. But her match backed out, and Ryan was still in, so they just put Ryan. They was like, Ryan is close enough. So Ryan and Brett were not originally supposed to be matched. But the person Brett was matched to backed out. And I can believe, because them being together makes no sense. And I can believe that she was supposed to be with somebody else, and he was supposed to be with somebody else. But he said a lot of it comes down to who is still there at the end. This is what he said on the podcast. Is that a lot of it comes down to who is left. Because they start out with all these people, they eliminate some, and some of them don't want to sign the contracts. They don't want to be filmed, or their families don't want to participate. It's stuff that happens outside of the matching that eliminates some people. So you could be matched with someone, but that person is like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. And then they'll leave. So the person you were matched with is gone, but you're still here. So they'll just find somebody else to match you with. Basically, the experts matched you, and then the producers match you too. I can absolutely believe that. That doesn't even surprise me or stun me at all if that's what's happening. Because that's what Ryan said happened with him and Brett. Brett was supposed to be with another guy, but that guy backed out. But Ryan was still, so they just matched Ryan to Brett. That makes sense to me. Apparently, Ryan and Zach are now good friends. They hang out and shoot pool and bullshit all the time. But Brett and Ryan, there's nothing to talk about that with them two. Except for the fact that Brett was a hypocrite because she was seeing somebody else. And she got mad at Ryan for being on an app. You were having full-on dates. She says it went nowhere, but I think she was lying because she was talking and her entire body turned red. I've never seen that before. Someone's entire body just turns red when they're going to ask a question about something. The next couple, every couple after that is pretty much better. Jose and Rachel. Jose is just full of shit. I just don't like Jose. I think he has a lot more anger problems than he wants to admit because he didn't admit now. Him and Rachel separated, but now they're going to try starting over again. Which is stupid. They said yes, decision day by reunion time they had split. They had moved in together, and Rachel was like, I don't want to do this, or because they were having arguments so much, which I believe they were having a lot of arguments, and she left. But they know they still like each other and they want to keep trying. So okay. Jose doesn't think he did anything wrong when he locked her out and he went off on her. He does. It's like, but Rachel said he's trying, and even the other cast members say, Jose is trying to be a better person. He was just used to being on his own and doing things his own way for so long and now he's adjusting to having somebody else around in his life. I'm sure. I believe that. But he wants it to work, and she wants it to work, so they're going to keep trying to make it work. Even if they got to start over from square one. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think Jose is going to be any different. I think he's going to be fighting his actual nature. I think he's just an asshole. I think he's a dick. So, I think it'll just be him fighting his nature. Next couple. Let's go to Bao and Johnny. Johnny is fucking stupid. Johnny makes you hate him. And I don't know him well enough to say, I hate this dude. But he just makes you feel like, man, fuck you, man. Am I the only one that feels that way? Because I'll sure be like, man, fuck you, Johnny. He's so dramatic about shit that ain't dramatic at all. He's the victim in all of this. He treated Bao like garbage. But then he wants to act like she did him wrong. She manipulated him. She's fake. He said that she was fake because she wanted to talk about stuff off camera. And before they went on camera, she wanted to go over what they were going to talk about, what they were going to say, because it's things she didn't want to be said. She said, like, my personal life, like my sex life, I don't want that public. I want people to know what's going on with her. I guess they lied about when they consummated. And Johnny was like, yeah, that was her. Johnny was like, she wants to rehearse and go over things. She was like, yeah. Shit. But Johnny likes to just come up with shit. Bao planned stuff out. On the episode 1, she was the queen of the spreadsheets. She thinks about stuff. She plans stuff out. She goes over it. She wants to have control over her story. I understand that. If she doesn't want to talk about something, she shouldn't be forced to. And if she wants to think about what she's saying, think about what's happening, and go over it, yeah, you should. I think Johnny should do that. he wouldn't sound like a fucking dumbass all the time. And she told him, she was like, you know, he was like, you're always this way on camera, this way off camera. We go here, you're like this. We go here, you're like this. She was like, yeah, there are many parts to me. When I'm with my friends, I'm one way. When I'm at work, I'm one way. When I'm with my family, I'm another way. It doesn't make me fake. It makes me multifaceted. It makes me, I'm different with different groups. But she said, with my husband, I hope I'm myself. And Johnny didn't like the fact that the way she was with him was not how she was with everybody. Like, everybody didn't see. Johnny was complaining like he sees all of her and other people only see parts of her. And he wanted everybody to see all of her. She's like, no, I don't want everybody to see all of me. All of me is reserved for my husband. Everybody else gets what I want them to see. And Johnny was like, I'm just how I am all the time with everybody. She was like, well, she don't work like that. I understand both of them, but Johnny was being a dick, acting like he doesn't get what she's saying. She's like, no, I'm not going to talk with my friends about what I talk to my husband about. I'm not going to talk to my coworkers what I talk to my family about. I'm not going to do, no, she separates all of those. Whereas Johnny just a fucking ass everywhere he goes. And then he's like, you know, he feels Bao manipulated him. I don't see how. She doesn't see how. I don't know how she manipulated him. Well, I guess he said because, you know, he wanted to come into this doing it all. But if she didn't want to do something, he went along with her. He like, that's not manipulation, dude. That's trying to make your wife happy. That's trying to have a good relationship. That's not being manipulated. How? Because she's telling you don't embarrass me? How is that manipulation? He can get the fuck out of here. And just the whining, woe is me. I hate woe is me ass dudes. I hate that. I really do. Him and Zach, just the two woe is me motherfuckers ever. Shit. And Bao didn't give him an inch. She didn't give him a minute break. She sat on his damn neck. Nothing he said made sense. Nothing he said he had any legs. It went nowhere. It was clear he was full of shit. Clear. Next couple was Michaela and Zach. These two motherfuckers here. They couldn't be together, so they had to talk to them separate. They talked to Michaela first. And Michaela was going in a fucking rage on Zach. How Zach was manipulating her. He lied to her. He never cared about her. He used her. And like she said yes decision day. He said no decision day. But then she started thinking like, you know, maybe he was right about we can try this again. So she started talking to him. Now she says that she went over to his apartment because he asked her to come over. Because they went out. No, they went out. He asked her to come back to his apartment. She said, I was there for 8 days. I didn't move in with him. I was there for 8 days. She said, I was just there with him having sex. She said cooking and cleaning, but we know she can't cook. We know from when they were cooking episodes, she couldn't boil water. She wasn't doing any cooking. She was over there just fucking Zach for 8 days. And she said then she left. She was like, this isn't going to work. So she left. She said Zach lies about when they had sex. He didn't want people to know they were having sex. So whenever they had sex, he would be like, I don't know if she said the woman's anniversary they had sex, but he said, if you tell anybody I'm going to lie, I'm going to deny it and say you're lying. Let me go on this. Zach is a damn fool if he thinks anybody believes him and Michaela were not having sex. I don't think anybody believes that. He must didn't watch the show. Or he must didn't listen to it or hear himself. If she wouldn't sleep in the bed with him, he didn't want to be there. That happened at least twice, I know. I think maybe more. Where he was like, if I can't be in the bed with you, I'm leaving. And she was like, why? At the retreat, she was like, why is that? He was like, because it's fun with you in the bed. I love it. It's great. Yeah, because y'all fucking. Shit. So whatever he's trying to say about them not having sex was bullshit. I believe Michaela up and down that her and Zach were fucking. Hey, he's on some other shit with that. Her sister comes out. Her sister was like, it was bad. Like, it was bad. You know? It was just awful how Michaela is so delusional. And how Zach is such a dick. Because Michaela left, Zach came out. Zach denied everything, said Michaela was lying. You know, they weren't having sex. She was only there for 4 days. She begged to come stay with him. And but to Michaela's point, she said, how would I get there? You live in a building where you have to have a key to even get in the building. She said, I couldn't get into this fancy high rise of yours without you. So you had to let me over. I didn't just pop up. So, yeah, he had to let her in. She's like, I can't just show up. I can't just get in your apartment. I can't just get in your building. So you have to have let me in. Yes, Zach, you had to have let her in. And he was like, she was begging to come over. She was homeless. She had nowhere to go. I don't believe that for a minute. He was like, she's only there for 4 days. They never had sex. Oh, he was just trying to help her out. She was so angry. He was like, I can't do this no more. He is so full of, like, he was lying. He was calling her a liar, and you could see that he was clearly lying. Because what Michaela said at least made sense. What Zach said didn't make any sense. And she said what he's going to do. In fact, that she prefaced her argument with, like, this is what he's going to say. Because he told me this is what he would say. And he came out and he said it. I believe they were having sex. I believe Michaela is crazy. And I believe Zach is a manipulator. Because he knew what was going on. He knew he was crazy. He knew Michaela was out there. He knew Michaela was just not what he wanted. But he kept messing with her. Why? Because the sex was good. She's like, he used me. He did. You did, Zach. You knew you didn't want to be with her. You knew you didn't like her personality. You didn't like her attitude. You didn't like her reactions and stuff. You didn't like it. But you kept coming around. You kept hanging out. Michaela was like, it was for sex. You're like, no. I was just being a good guy trying to help her out. He was like, oh, I hated having sex with her. I just did it because to make her happy. It wasn't for me. Whatever, man. Oh, nobody believes this bullshit. Michaela comes out while Zach's talking because she wants to defend herself against being called a straight up liar. Zach goes off. He's like, oh, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Michaela leaves. Zach comes back. He said he's done with it. If you're done, be done. If you don't want to deal with her, don't deal with her. That's it. Fuck both of them. Michaela, I mean, like, she needs help. Zach needs help too. Because he doesn't see, I don't know if he realizes how he came across. And this next couple, ooh, Gil and Marilyn. They is not doing good, Gil and Marilyn. Well, Gil ain't doing good. Apparently, Marilyn on top of the fucking world. They said yes, decision day. But at the reunion, they are not together and are not talking, are not speaking. Gil came, he was looking good. Marilyn was looking, I didn't like her boots. Like, they complimented her boots. I was like, there's some ugly ass boots. Like some fucking Pt.1&2 boots, shit. But I know they were super expensive. And Gil had on some red bottoms and a nice suit. But Gil always looked nice. Now people always say that, oh, Gil has looked good the entire season. From the wedding to the decision to the reunion. Gil was, every time he was on screen, he was dressed sharp than a motherfucker. Mira looked like a goddamn bum. Gil was always dressed sharp as a fucking tack. So I don't know why people would sit here and say, oh, she upgraded him. Point to one scene where Gil looked bad. Show me one scene where Gil was dressed like a fucking bum. Gil was styling and profiling the whole season. He outshined Mirla all the time. Because she spends all her money on her wardrobe. I don't fucking see it. It's like she's buying shit that's expensive but ugly, or expensive and don't look good on her. Gil buys shit that looks good on him, whether it's from fucking I can't think of no fucking expensive store like Michael Kors or goddamn Walmart. If it looks good on him, Gil buys it. And I can guarantee you, Gil ain't buying name brand shit. Is that a fucking dog? Fuck, I'll do that later. Name brand shit off the rack. He is buying his shit at Burlington, TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, or whatever. But who cares? If he getting some Gucci shit for $50, alright, instead of $5,000, and it looks good on him. Oh, it's last season. Who the fuck cares? So this whole she upgraded Gil. Gil has always looked nice. He never looked bad. Ever. He never dressed terribly. He often dressed way better than Mirla. Shit. When they were going out in public and doing shit, Gil was the one that was sharp than the motherfucker. But I'm off. I'm going off on a tangent. They broke up. Well, Gil, poor Gil. Ooh, poor Gil. He says that he sold everything he had except a blender, his clothes, and hype, and moved in with Mira. Now, I think from the way they were talking, they had got. Cause I remember in the season, Gil was looking for apartments for him and Marilyn to move into. He was asking her, "What kind of apartment do you want?" So apparently, he got an apartment. They got an apartment together, and Gil was like, "Hey, I was moving in," and I even understand him selling all his shit because she wouldn't have wanted it. She wanted brand new shit. So him selling all his stuff makes sense to me because Mirla wanted all brand new shit in the apartment. So I don't see. It's like people don't listen. I know online they were shitting on Gil. Like, oh, he a bum. He sold all this stuff for what? Why would you do that? She didn't want old shit in her apartment. And him trying to make her happy, he sold his shit. He got rid of it because she didn't want it. So we'll get a new apartment and a new place and a brand new building. That's what she wanted. So he stayed there for 2 weeks. And then Mirla called him and broke it off. Like she wanted a divorce. You know, she said she didn't like him. She never liked him. She never loved him. She was never attracted to him. And she didn't feel safe and secure with him in regards to financial decisions. Kevin, the host, asked her, well, you know, Gil made a lot of like snappy comeback comments to you and stuff. She was like, yeah, I never liked them. And Gil was like, this is the first time he ever heard it. Which is what I said all the time. She's never complained about anything he said. She never complained about anything Gil said to her. She called herself a diva. She called herself princess. She called herself bougie. Gil wasn't saying it out of jealousy or spite. He was repeating what she said. And she never said, I don't like it when you call me that. She would just smile and giggle and go along with it. But when she was asked about it, she said, well, you know, I never did like that. Well, why didn't you say something? Because Gil would talk to her and pause. Like, what's up? You gonna say something? And she never said anything. So how would he know she had a problem with it? He often gave her plenty of opportunity and time. How are you feeling? Do you have anything to say? And she would just smile and be like, no, it's out there. And he wasn't muzzling her. When she wanted to complain, she did. When she wanted to bitch about something, she did. It was no problem doing that. And him telling her, like, you know, you complain a lot, you're a real downer, those aren't insults. If I'm stating what's going on or what's happening, that's not me insulting. That's me pointing out, like, hey, what the fuck? Because it could be a thing of, I'm curious. Okay, hey, are you okay? Because you seem like you're real pissed right now. You're complaining about everything, and you're just griping. What, is something wrong? So him bringing it up, and she said, you know, she said then that, well, I know that's how him and his family talks. They're always snapping on each other. So she said, I just never gave it a second thought. But you know what? I don't like it. Well, wait a minute. If you know that's how he talks to people he loves and cares about, why would you ever think it was something bad towards you? I think she was lying about that. I think she went online and saw that other people were complaining about it, even though she never complained about it, and she just jumped on that bandwagon. Like, you know what? Yeah, that is insulting. That is him being insecure. Because she started quoting fucking Facebook, talking about him. And he was like, it's the first I ever fucking heard of it. And I asked her all the time. And he did ask her. And Mirla was saying that she never loved him. All that stuff she did, crying without a pepper, to how he was everything she wanted for him and more. She said, he always had little gifts. He got her flowers every week. He opened the doors for her to the car, to the house, anywhere they went. She said he was super romantic, super sweet. He always complimented her. He did all this stuff for her. And then she was like, he was a great man. He was a great husband. But she was like, I just didn't want to be with him. I think that's bullshit. I think she said it wasn't about the finances. And Gil said, I make more than her. He said, I make $100 every 2 weeks more than her. And I believe that. I believe because I think Mirla does a lot of contract work. And with that, yeah, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. But you can also not make a lot of money. You can be making steady, normal, regular income. And then 1 month, you get a huge fucking deal, a big fucking contract. And now you're making a lot of money. You can make a lot of money over a short period of time. And you can make just average money over a long period of time. So I believe Gil when he said that. Cause I'm like, if she does a lot of contract work with her teaching thing, or a lot of tutoring or whatever specialty work, there's probably months or two where she's not making that much money. But there could be a month or two where she's making a fuck ton of money. It all depends. And she didn't seem surprised or upset by him saying that, because she was kind of like, yeah, he does on average make more money than me. But I think the problem with that is that Gil takes care of his family in Colombia. So a lot of his money leaves the United States never to return. So she could just say that. I don't like that he gives money away. Shit. Yeah, that makes more sense than the nothing she said. He gives a lot of his money away. And Gil had the beard. We find out that he had the beard because he's in a paramedic school. And if you're a paramedic, you can grow a beard. If you're a firefighter, you can't. And he's like, paramedic, that's a raise, so that'd be a lot more money. And he gets to, he can do both. Then he can do firefighting and be a paramedic. So that's way better. So he'll be a firefighter, a paramedic, and a personal trainer. That's a lot of money. So I don't get it. And people keep talking like I'm getting upset with Gil and Mirla mostly because of the internet. Gil is not financially stable. He's a hobo. He's a bum. He's all this shit. That man has a great fucking job. He has a steady, stable job with nothing but room for growth. And he had a side job as a personal trainer. Now he's going to be a paramedic, a firefighter, and a personal trainer. But because he is like, yeah, I don't chase money. He's not chasing money. He's chasing happiness. From what he even said, he's chasing happiness. He's like, I just want to help people. And I just want to bring positivity and goodness to the world. He doesn't see being a millionaire as something that does that. And it apparently pisses the internet community off. They didn't put this man under a bridge in a box because he said he doesn't chase money. It's the most ridiculous shit you will ever see. Everybody on these fucking other YouTube channels, they just shitting on Gil because he's a firefighter. Like, that is the worst thing a motherfucker could be. It doesn't make any sense at all. Ignoring the fact that Mirla is a teacher. They're just ignoring that. They act like she's fucking first lady or goddamn Oprah or something. She's a teacher. But she's in the private system and not the public system. So apparently she's making millions. No. She's making more than him. But she ain't rolling it like that. We see how she rolled. Miller was just disgusting to me. And I felt so bad for Gil because he was just crying so much. You could tell he was so hurt. He came into this looking for a wife, and he thought he found one. And he put his heart into it. And it was terrible watching how much Myrla didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was cold. She was cold. Didn't care at all. Didn't care at all. Fuck him. And this man, and I remember, and Kevin asked him if Myrla said she wanted to try it again, would you do it? And Gil said, my heart would say yes. My mind would say yes. But I would kind of know in the back of my mind that she really doesn't want to be with me. But he would still give it back with her because he wanted to be married. Apparently he really liked Myrla. He was really into her. And only to hear from her that she never gave a fuck about him. You could tell he was devastated. You know, you could tell. All the guys talk. I forget what they were talking about. They were talking about, I think, Gil. They were shocked that Gil and Myrla broke up. They thought they would have made it. They thought they had the best chance out of anybody. I think everybody did. Thought Gil and Myrla had the best chance out of anybody. And I think that was it for part one, as far as I can remember. Part two was more the same bullshit. They finished up with Michaela and Zach. Where Zach said that shit he was talking about. And then they went to, I think they had the experts came out. The experts was like a lot of shit they didn't see. Nobody saw Gil and Myrla happening. They didn't see that breaking up. Because they both seemed so happy with what they had. And despite what Myrla says, she looked like she was fucking happy with Gil. She said that she was crying, full of tears. She was so happy, all this great. Even when she was sitting there after breaking this man's heart, the way she described him was like, damn, he sounded like a perfect ass dude for you. But he didn't have enough money. And I think Pastor Cal, when he was talking to Myrla, he said that he sees fear from Myrla. And I said the same thing, watching it. I said Myrla is scared. Because she probably at some point said, I could never be with a guy like Gil. I couldn't be with a man that didn't care about money. I couldn't be with a man like this. And she found herself with a man like that, and she really fucking liked him. She was really into him. But she swore I would never be with a guy like this. So, and she was scared. She was like, what do I do? I really love him, but I don't want to be with him. I can't be with him. So what do I do? So she just broke up with him. Out of fear. Because she said, even the way she described it, I don't know how he's going to be with our kids. I don't know how he'll be financially. I don't know. It was just a fear of a lot of shit that if you thought about it, you would see that's dumb. You can't look at Gil, listen to him, anything, and get the feeling that he is going to be bad with children. He's not going to know how to run a household. And he's not going to be financially stable. He's not a hobo. Despite all them heifers on YouTube saying it, Gil ain't no fucking hobo. Despite fucking Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Gil ain't no homeless dude under a bridge without a pot to piss in. I don't know where the fuck that narrative comes from. I don't know who the fuck said it. I don't know where it started. I don't know anything about that. But it's like, it was one of the most infuriating things ever. Because this man said, I don't chase money. I prefer to just help people. Oh, he's just a hobo. He's just a bum looking for somewhere to stay, to take care of him. How the fuck do you come to that conclusion? I'm going to stop ranting on Gil. Shit, I swear I am. But that's the truth. And when Gil and Mary were talking to the expert, because the expert was talking to him, some of them were worthless. I think I probably even already covered it. She had no reason why she wanted the divorce. She had no reason why. It was just like, well, because a bunch of hypothetical bullshit. in her own mind about how he's going to be and what he's going to do, when there was no evidence to show or demonstrate any of that. But that's just how she was. That's just how she felt. Mirla came across just looking bad. Just bad. The reunion was just, she looks shitty. Later on, all the couples are out. And they're all talking. And it's bad. It's bad. You know, Rachel told the girl, because they had all girls first. And they were talking. Okay, I'll go back to when they had all the girls, all the ladies come out. I don't know why I keep calling them girls. I just feel like they're fucking girls. Because half of them are mean girls. Half of them just act like children. Fuck. I swear I'm going to stop calling them girls. The ladies come back out. And Rachel says that, you know, her and Jose are going to try it. And it seems like it upsets Mirla. Or she's shocked. Because Rachel said, I didn't want to tell everybody because we hang out. And I don't want to hang out with Jose and them. And they're looking at Jose funny. So she's like, that's why I didn't even tell them. I'm going to tell them now. Which I understand that. And it seemed like Mirla was not happy about that. But hey, you know. So I guess her and Rachel are hanging out. And where are they now? Her and Rachel are like super good friends. Because Rachel likes to go on trips. And Mirla like, well, I like to go on trips too. I think Mirla says she has a lot of friends, but I don't think she does. Like, she has those two dudes and that one lady, and I believe those are the only fucking friends she got. So Rachel is a new friend that she wants to do a lot of shit with, but I'm pretty sure she talks about Rachel behind her back like a fucking dog. They showed a lot of clips of Mirla being a diva, being bougie, being high maintenance. All the shit Gil says she is, they showed her saying that I am this. And they showed her acting that way. Fuck. Jesus Christ. And the ladies are like, yeah, that's Mirla. But nobody gives a fuck. They're like, oh, well, Gil shouldn't say it. Every goddamn body else says it. Gil shouldn't be like that. Every goddamn body else sees it. So why is it only a fucking problem with Gil? Because it ain't. It ain't a fucking problem. All the couples are out. And at this point turns into a shit show. Because I think Kevin asked, like, who been going on trips, and apparently Mirla, Rachel, and Johnny have been taking trips together. Well, she said no, it was Mirla and Rachel went to Chicago, and Mirla and Johnny went to Cancun. And Kevin was like, you and Johnny went to Cancun? And Johnny was like, yeah, but he said, but that doesn't sound right. Johnny said he went to a wedding in Cancun. And Mirla went with her friends to Cancun. And since they were both in Cancun, they met up and hung out. Listen. That ain't no fucking accident. Cancun is a resort town. It's dozens of resorts and vacation places in Cancun. There's no fucking way you would run into somebody else unless you were already planning to run into each other. It's full of places to be. So you had to have deliberately wanted to be in the same hotel, in the same fucking place, at the same goddamn resort. You had to have already planned that. So him trying to say that, oh, it just happened. You didn't just happen to stay in the same fucking place. Nobody believes that. You had to have planned it out. And we see on the Where Are They Now afterwards that, oh yeah, Johnny just hanging out with Mirla all the fucking time. He's with her so much that her friends are like, are you two dating? His family thinks Mirla is his girlfriend because they're together so much. But Johnny's like, oh no, we're just good friends. Fuck you, Johnny. No, you ain't. And Kevin asked Gil, what do you think about Johnny and Mirla's friendship? And Gil said, I don't. He said, I don't give a fuck. I don't think about it at all. He like, no comment. And you can see Gil is hurt. Like, he is crying. He's crying. He's been crying this entire time. Just in a state of fucking misery. And Mirla is being a fucking ass. A big open asshole. She's all on Johnny. Just like, ooh, she's just so giggly and just hanging on him and like, ooh. And Johnny was like, oh, he wished we could have did like Married at First Sight Australia and like spouse swap. Where they switched wives. He wanted to switch with, he wanted to get with Mirla. He's like, well, you know, I can take care of her. You know, I can treat her how she wants to be treated. And Gil should have uppercut the fuck out of his ass right then. You know, shit. But Gil's a good dude. You know, I guess because Johnny got money. He gonna retire by 40. And Mirla is just all over him. She's holding his hands, got his arm, just leaning on him, smiling all up in his face, laughing. And the thing that pisses you off is her and Johnny are sitting here just giggling, kiki, and Gil is right there. Broke the fuck down. I mean, just devastated. He's fighting tears. He's got fucking snot bubbles, everything. He is hurt. That man's heart hurts. His heart hurts. His soul is weeping. He's fucked up. That's the best way to describe it. He is emotionally fucked up. And Mirla and Gil is on some bullshit, mean girl, petty ass high school shit. And then Kevin asks, oh, which couples would be better off together or switched? And Gil says, you know what? I'm out of here. I ain't got time for this. I'm finna go. So Gil gets up and leave, and everybody shuts the fuck up. Gil walks past Johnny. I'm like, Gil just dead in his fucking eyes. He don't do nothing. Johnny freezes like a deer in headlights. Gil gets up. He leaves. Michaela gets up, and she goes after Gil. Now, to Michaela's credit, when they were sitting there talking, she kept looking in to check on Gil. The entire time. I will say that much. Because everybody else is just laughing, having a good time because, you know, fuck their relationships. They don't give a shit. Brett and Ryan don't give a fuck. Rachel and Jose don't give a fuck. Marilyn and Johnny, they boo-booed up over this motherfucker. Bow fucking Zach and Zach fucking Bow. They don't give a shit. Nobody in this whole group is suffering right now except Gil. And Michaela is hurt. Think about that. They just having a good time, partying, and Gil is a fucking mess. Gil is a mess over here. And he's sitting there with these people trying to keep it together. Another dude is all over his wife. Because he's still saying my wife. He has not stopped calling her his wife. And Johnny is just playing. Johnny was playing with a grown ass man that was hurt right then. And that shit could have went left. And Mirla didn't care. Just did not care about Gil at all. She was not emotionally invested at all. She lied the entire season about him, her feelings, everything. And Gil believed her. Michaela goes after Gil because they're really the only two there that are having a bad day. They're the only two having a bad day. And Gil's like, I'm done with this shit. You know, he's like, I'm fucking done. I'm not finna sit here and smile and play and giggle and ha ha he he. No, he's like, I'm fucking done. He said, I said a long time ago, I want to be positive, bring positive energy to the world. He said, I can't do that here. I can't do that out there. There ain't shit positive going on. He is hurt for real. It's not a game to him. Everybody else was like, oh, we'll get divorced. It's no big deal. It's a big fucking deal to him. And he can't pretend that it's not. And Michaela was like, you know, she understands. She's with it. And so Michaela was like comforting Gil. And when Gil leaves, Johnny was like, well, I guess he didn't like that question. And Rachel told Johnny, shut the fuck up. All right? Because if Gil turned around and came back, you wouldn't even piss on your goddamn self. Somebody told Johnny he was cool or something at some point, and he believed that shit. He acts like he's some cool cat daddy, and he fucking ain't. Not even close. Johnny is one of those people that you hear the old folks used to say need their ass whooped. Johnny need his ass whooped. And merely the shit slapped out of her. I'm sorry for cussing so much. I cuss like a sailor, as you can see, but it was infuriating to me how nonchalant the disrespect was with Marilyn and Johnny. Just how careless they were. They openly didn't respect this man, didn't care about him, didn't think about him. And this is his wife. There is nothing Marilyn can do that will make me look at her in a positive light ever again. Nothing. Because it shows just how money focused she is. They tried to say, oh, she's very charitable, she'll do this, she'll do that. I don't believe any of that shit. If she's giving the shit away, she's giving it, one, because she don't want it and she think it's trash, or two, she's doing it so people can say she's a good person and brag on her. She's doing it for reputation. Not out of the kindness of her heart, because I don't even think she has one. That's me. I'm with Gil. This is bullshit. They went 0 for 5 this season on couples. They didn't just go 0 for 5. They put people together who had no fucking business being together. They were total opposites, and not in a good way. I know opposites attract, but they have to have some common ground. Something in common. They have to have something that they can hang on to that connects them. Zach and Michaela had nothing. Brett and Ryan had fucking nothing. They was both white people. That was their connection. Michaela and Zach, they were both black. That's the connection. And Gil and Mirla apparently should have never been put together. So you had one person that just went at everything heart first. And one that was like money above everything. Shit. It is so fucking crazy to me. And it's not, I look at Mirla, I see Mirla as one of these women that would get with a rich dude and he could treat her like shit and she'll be okay with it, over being with a broke dude or a dude that was just average, just regular, normal, median income that treated her great. She would not be happy with that. She wants someone rich. They can be a dick, asshole, good, whatever. As long as you rich. Rich comes first. How you are as a person don't matter. She wants a financial security and not just stability, because Gil was financially stable. She don't want stable. She wants financially abundant. And whatever comes along with it, that's fine. That ain't Gil. And I know Gil's probably, he should be happy it didn't go further than it did. He really should. That's my thoughts. That's how I feel about the whole thing. I think this whole season was bullshit. Like, I'm pissed off now at Married at First Sight. They left that shit with Ryan when he said, like, yeah, we weren't even matched. And when it sounds like, yes, that would happen. They would match people with good matches, and then people would drop out. Like, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be part. So they would just have to go with what's left. A lot of these matches are just people that's left over. They're the ones that didn't quit. So they just put them together somehow, some way. I can see that 100%. Without question. I never thought it, but now that it was said, I can never get it out of my head. Hell yes, that's what happened. That has to be what's happening. Gotta be. Gotta be. Hey, them my thoughts about the whole fucking season, about the reunion. What are yours? If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, if you think I'm not seeing or I'm missing something, or you don't think that my rant about Gil and Mirla was justifiable, I think it was fucked up on Marilla's part. I don't see anything wrong with Gil selling all his shit because she didn't want old shit. And that's what made me feel bad because I listened to the stuff she said going up to this. When he asked, should I renew my lease? She said, oh yeah, you should do that. And she started laughing like, no. No, she meant that, yeah, you should renew your fucking lease. But no, he said no. He started looking for new apartments for both of them to move into. And she told him, this is what I want. She was talking to her friends, bragging out, he is looking for an apartment. A place for us at my standards that I want. So if he was going to do it, hey, I'm going to get a place at your standards with what you want, it makes perfect sense to me that he would get rid of his shit. It makes perfect sense. Because she doesn't want, she was very open, like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to do that with that. And he was like, fine. All I'm bringing is my blender, my drawers, and my dog. And then she was like, I can't do this no more. She said, I'm going to move out. And Gil said, no, you know what? I'll move out. It makes sense for him to say, I'll move out. This is her shit. This is the apartment you wanted, in the neighborhood you wanted, in the building you wanted, with the furniture you wanted. Why the fuck would I stay here? So what Gil was like, so no, I'll leave. Because this is your shit. But apparently online, Gil was an idiot for trying to make his wife happy. For trying to be with her. How does that happen? How does that work? Those are my thoughts. Alright? Tell me what yours are. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And man, I'll catch y'all next season, dog. Peace.